Anchored by a photographic practice, my artwork is steeped in a personal and global obsession to record things visually. Universally, humans are hungry to capture each moment. This need has grown into an obsession with each additional social media platform that is introduced. Part of me views it as a hoarding behavior, a need to capture every moment and save it forever. Having grown up in an era where photography was analog and not all pictures developed clearly, I am fascinated by how digital photography allows us to have evidence of so many things. But I wonder how well these digital photographs and videos represent what actually occurred. Will our memories be clearer because of this documentation? Do we only need a snippet of a moving or still image to bring events back? Can the documentation accurately represent our emotions and sensations? My work explores the intersection of place and experience and questions the fugitive nature of personal history and memory. The imagery emphasizes the beauty of the mundane in my life and every life. There is a repetitive nature to the work, which expresses how my mind processes the experiences and memories over and over again. I have worked with the theme of memory for over a decade. The idea has manifested itself in a variety of forms, from prints to handmade collages, digital images, and traditional photographs. Unlike my past work, with this series, I wanted to alter the photographs so that they were abstract while still offering small glimpses of recognizable things. In some pieces, multiple photographs are combined, and in others, a single image is repeated. To me, this represents how a mind can alter a memory. Sometimes we confuse or combine multiple experiences, and other times we can only see a partial experience in our mind's eye, and no matter how many times we repeat the image, it never becomes complete. My training is in printmaking, which is an extremely process-oriented medium. This is one of the reasons I was so drawn to it. I carry that mentality into all aspects of my art making practice, thinking in layers and steps when building an image. Each of these five artworks were physically created through a painstaking process of hand cutting and reassembling. Some of the surfaces were disrupted through methodical tearing and mark making. I chose to not create these digitally because the repetitive handworking of materials became very meditative and, for me, enhanced the overall experience of making them. Even when working with traditional photographs or digital images, there is some process that I rely on, whether building an installation of multiple prints or layering one image upon another. These five pieces are part of a larger series that I began at an artist residency I attended in 2018. Prior to the cut and reassembled pieces, I began experimenting with a circular format. I wondered how taking a square photograph and making it a circle could abstract an image. I was also drawn to the circle because of its reference to a viewfinder, like that of a telescope or binoculars. It made me feel as though I was capturing a glimpse of something secret or private. This idea played well with the theme of the imagery, personal history, and the terrestrial aspects of our lives. In this piece, I captured a number of objects and settings that represented my experiences throughout a year. In the next two pieces, I experimented with the addition of mark making and drawing to enhance the circular photographs. Photographs that came from the same series of imagery used to produce the previous installation piece. However, these circles were contained within the boundaries of a sheet of paper rather than allowing the borders of the wall to frame them. I wanted to highlight the organic linear forms created by the natural elements within the images, things like branches and stems, because they contrasted the other geometric shapes. The dark spot is part of a diptych that was created for a spirograph challenge exhibition in which I participated. To me, the extension of these lines implied growth and the passage of time, as if the still image was allowed to stretch beyond the moment of capture. The titles I have been choosing make some reference to memory, words like vestige, trace, and artifact referring to remnants of things. In this case, Quixotica or Quixotic is derived from the literary character Don Quixote, who was an impractical idealist. I simply made up a noun form of the word. It describes the romantic realism we can sometimes feel when remembering certain events, places, or people from our past. With this piece, I'd like to cycle back around to the first five images, the pieces that were motivated by my time spent at an artist residency. Not knowing exactly what sort of artwork I would produce, I took a variety of photographs and materials to the residency to work from. Some of the photos were in a rectangular format and some in a circular format. While no completed artworks utilize a circle, I experimented with it repeatedly. This particular piece is a play on actual versus simulated texture. The foliage is photographic, while the dull green concrete-like imagery is actual. It was created by cutting holes in the foliage print and placing it up against a cinder block wall. I then rephotographed it and played around in this way with a variety of different textures and prints. These have yet to be printed and exhibited, but I plan to continue with my creative inquiry of this series. This is an example of my most recent artistic project. It is a work in progress. I continue to work with the circular format using photographic imagery. Currently, I am utilizing mirrors as a substrate for the photos. Where the white image areas occur, the reflective nature of the mirror is revealed. This technique also produces a haunting translucent double image. I am using photos that I have taken of glaciers and melting ice and snow. With the effects of global warming increasing daily, I feel an urgent need to convey my vision of this as related to my previous artwork. Using circles in a grid format gives the illusion that sections of the landscape are missing, and the viewer is left to visually piece together a whole. Soon, what we currently know as the Earth will be changed dramatically, leaving us only memories and photographic documentation. Again, this piece represents to me how the mind works over time and gives insight into what we are likely to encounter in our lifetime as the world is continually altered by human behavior.